How do I stay consistent when life is unstable? Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and yes, that's the question we're going to be answering in this video. If you're new here, you're welcome. I'm Dola Janet. I make videos about faith, lifestyle, and yes, everything digital skills, personal development, everything in between. Alright. So we're going to be answering the question of how to stay consistent even when life is lifing. Without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. So let's talk about what makes inconsistency steps in when life become unstable, because life becoming unstable is a constant thing, right? Things change is constant, but why is it that when the change comes you become inconsistent? Why is it that when this happen you try to fall back on the things that you have held up high, or things that you do? The first thing is that your routines are too rigid. Yes, you are too hard on yourself. You are not flexible enough. While it's important to always stick to one thing, discipline is about that is not warlords kind of thing. Discipline is actually in some form of way self-respect, respecting yourself, respecting whoever you're trying to discipline, whether it's yourself. That I deserve grace. I'm valuable enough to get this done so that I can see the certain results and all of that. But when it comes to the place of you are too rigid, you don't have any grace, you're always putting pressure on yourself, you will feel like dropping off. You will feel like dropping off and just let me just give up. It's not that deep again. Alright. So when your routines are too rigid, it can happen that you can become inconsistent. Yes. So having the routine to make you consistent, and now you're too hard on yourself, you become inconsistent because you failed yesterday, and then because you are too rigid, you feel like, I can't do it again because I failed. It has not compiled and all of that. I hope you understand me. The next thing is relying on motivation. Yes, you're waiting to feel like it. That's why we said one thing that is constant is things will change in life. You're a student now. You're waiting to feel like reading before you read. You're waiting till mosquito is not biting you before you do something. You're waiting till something is just, it's just this my second point also lead to my third point, which is waiting for it to be perfect, right? You're waiting to feel it. You're waiting for everything around you to be perfect. If you can look at this video, everything around me is not perfect, but am I going to film this video? Yes, because I know that I have something valuable to give, and someone here is going to have an answer to the questions that they have. All right, so you're waiting for it to be perfect, or you are around you, you're waiting for you to be motivated. I understand the place of where things can be hard when there is no little or no motivation around you, and life is just funny in that kind of season. Is one thing I would also say is that consistency is not every day. Yes, consistency is you being courageous enough to show up even after you failed, or after you stopped, or after you became inconsistent. All right. So you see that life will happen. Like that's what the basis of this video. Life will just happen, and then it's left you to pick yourself back up, whether there is motivation or not. But I pray that God will always motivate you. You always have motivation around you. But if there's no motivation, you still have to show up regardless. So now let's talk about the step to remain consistent. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please do help to subscribe. Give this video a like so that other people can see it, and also share with your friends. The first thing in staying consistent when life becomes unstable is that you redefine your definition of consistency. I think from what we have talked about so far is that it's not basically every day, every week, every month, every year, or whatever in whatever the case may be. It's actually you being courageous enough, being valuing yourself enough, and saying that this didn't happen, but this can happen. All right, I didn't show up yesterday. I can show up today. For example, let me use my YouTube for example. I didn't show up towards the end of last year very well, because I had a lot of life happened. I find myself in NYC camp, and before I knew it, before I could settle down, but I didn't allow the year to just run out like that. I started showing up with shorts, and the short I started showing up with actually built my subscribers. I was not expecting it, not as if it's a large number, but at least to some extent, right? I didn't have to grow. I didn't have to make long videos like this to even show up. I was just showing up little by bit by bit, till I got the television came back again, and then I can now sit down. I have the opportunity to film. All right. So it's life happened, and in some ways I couldn't control the things happening, so I have to wait out. But in my process of waiting and giving myself grace, I was still showing up little by little. All right, so that is one thing, that's consistency. For me, I can say I was consistent in 2025 in my YouTube space, right? The videos, number of shorts I put out were many, all right, and it actually showed, it built my subscribers in some way, okay. But was that the target I wanted? No. Was that how I wanted to show up? No. But life happened. I was able to adjust. So redefine what consistency is to you. Being flexible enough. I mentioned that when you are too rigid, when your routines are too rigid, then you will feel so just down that I have done a thing, then I can't do it again. Okay. The second is to have a minimum effort system. To have a minimum effort system, meaning that at least I must do something. Don't wait. If I can do more, I would definitely do more. If I can give myself to more and stretch myself, which is very important, so I can see greater results, important. But I can't now. That's the focus of this video. I can't do it because of this is happening. Then I should give the minimum effect, and that's the example I gave in my YouTube. I showed up in showing shots. That's the little I could do at the time. So at least let that be that. I'm supposed to take 1,000 steps, take 10,000 steps today, or 50,000 steps today, but it didn't happen. It used to happen. I used to show up before, but now it didn't happen. So I have to calm down to stay consistent and say, okay, at least this is what I can do. I can take 2,000. I should still show up. So I'm not waiting till when everything is perfect. Okay, like I said, everything you are seeing is not perfect. But am I showing up? Yes, I'm showing up. So you don't have to wait to be perfect. Have a minimum effort. Like, even though I don't show up in this way, I show up in this way. Okay, so that when all the inconsistency and unstableness, I don't even know if that's a real word, or when life basically, it happened that you can still show up and still in a way give yourself grace and still do what you're supposed to do. Third thing is what I would call compound interest, right? Remember, compound interest, basically little accumulation that compounds and accumulative, and then at the end of the day there's something tangible. It might look so little, it might look so small, it might look so tiny bit by bit, but it's actually growing, it's actually accumulating. So you will not allow life to overwhelm you too much that I still show up. This is not for you to be complacent, right? It is not a place for complacency, but despite because it can just happen. If a friend can fall sick, a family can fall sick, you might have to relocate. So it happens, all right? So that's when your mindset has to be from, okay, even though this cannot happen now, what can happen? And as I invest in this, as I will let it come, as I invest in this, then let it compound, let it become something that at the end of the day I would see the results. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do well to subscribe. Drop a comment for me if you have a question related to this. I'll be glad to answer. And to wrap up what you've just said, your definition of consistency matters. And if your routines are too rigid, you are too hard on yourself, you don't give yourself grace, discipline also requires self-respect, and then your minimum effort also counts because it can compound. So you can also, all of this can help you stay consistent even when life becomes unstable. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.